Is there something that surprised you in some of the papers and something part of the rethink that's not to be missed?
Well, I think the thing that's not to be missed is the new application of some existing techniques and the ability of leaders in research to apply new mobile connections with consumers, which is, we all know that consumers are on mobile devices, but there are some really interesting insights around mobile media, all the way over to maybe what's surprising is there's some really fascinating segmentation work that's being done around television. And so while we're all focusing on the dynamic media landscape as a broad landscape, television is still critically important in our industry. So I think what will be both surprising and at some level comforting is there's as much innovation going on in some of the traditional forms of advertising media for consumers as in the very new kind of bleeding edge areas.
So a section of the rethink will include the role of management or the way management is looking at research. Can you give us some insights as to what to expect from that part of the conference?
So we're going to kick off the conference with an interview with Keith Reinhard, who's the former chair and CEO of DDB worldwide, and he's going to be telling, war stories, but also just decision points and places where he had the courage to do what he did and where that actually came from. And Soledad O'Brien is going to be interviewing him. So we're going to kick off the conference maybe in a kind of a different way with, all right, how could you take what were tried and true decisions from the last 2 or 3 decades and apply them to thinking today. So we're going to get management on the stage. We're going to follow that up with a talk by the head of creative at Lego, the head of all innovation at Lego. So that's another form of management, basically, but that's actually managing ideas and inspiration, and which happens to be off of this tremendously successful Lego movie, so it'll be really interesting. And then the end of day one, we actually have Carolyn Everson from Facebook, who's going to be talking about really think about the leadership turnaround and evolution that Facebook's had in such a short period of time by grabbing onto mobile and saying, we're going to take this on, this is going to be our priority. And so she's going to share some insights about how management creates that kind of galvanizing focus and really turns a business and focuses a business like Facebook. And if a company like Facebook can do that with their leadership and with leaders like Brad Smallwood, who's on our board of directors from Facebook, then anybody in any industry ought to be able to do that. So it's leadership and management as inspiration. And then on day 3, that day is going to be focused completely around careers. And so we're actually going to have Susan Cain, who wrote the book Quiet and has done these amazing TED Talks about being an introvert and how to kind of get outside of yourself. And I think some researchers like myself can really relate to that. And I know her talk is going to be really inspirational, but we're also going to hear from the chief learning officers from Google talk about how they actually apply science to their people management and organizational development and even their recruiting approaches and perspective. And then in the afternoon, we're going to have a Make Your Mark mentoring meetup. So we're going to have an opportunity for people to learn about how leaders and management made their mark, and then because we all need people to aspire to, and that we say, well, you seem like me, so I want to learn more. So we're going to give people a chance to do kind of speed dating, tabletop discussions, and find their people, because it's one of the things that we say we do at the ARF is we help you find your tribe and build your career, and then evangelize your successes and find successes and failures that other people accomplished, and then help take something back to your desk. We always end the conference with what can you take back to your desk and do differently at your job, and what can the ARF do for you?
So there'll be some updates of current research from some of your board members?
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. So as you may recall, at our audience measurement conference in June, Artie Bulgren and the team from Jan Fulgoni and Arbitron presented their Project Blueprint work. And so we're going to have an update to Project Blueprint actually on the stage at Rethink, which is really great. And I really do like to get our board members and their preeminent work out as quickly as possible. But in addition, really excited that on day 2, which is Rethinking Creative, David Poltrak is going to be on the stage sharing for the first time the work of his demand segmentation that the Cambridge Group did. And this is about segmenting consumer audiences based on the way they consume media. And we're going to have a really fun, but right now super top secret, way to engage our audience in this material. And so I think it'll be, it's great to hear a great piece of research, but it's even more great and more fun if you can figure out how to experience it and understand the consumer from the inside out. So really looking forward to both of those presentations as follow-ups from our board of directors.